Welcome back to the Vit Nerd. This time I'm going to put together an adapter board that allows you to use a Nintendo Wii Nunchuk on an Atari 8-bit computer, or anything that works with an Atari 8-bit joystick, the old original DB9 joystick connector. And it's kind of fun. It takes, if you know anything about the Nintendo Wii, and maybe you do because you would have a nunchuck probably. So the Nintendo Wii has a wireless controller, you know, the one that did all the motion and you're doing bowling and all. And they added a second controller that wires into the original wireless controller. And that way you got both hands doing things. Well, somebody figured out a way to take the analog signals off the data line of the nunchuck, convert it to digital signals, left, right, up, down, and fire for Atari 8-bit joystick ports. So I thought it was pretty fun, and let's go ahead and put it together and then try it out. Well, first let's go ahead and dump the parts out here. And well, I guess I should explain this. I tripped over this on eBay. Somebody's selling this, and there'll be a link in the description to the eBay seller. Assuming they have more and they'll keep selling them. So this one's option 2 that I purchased, which is the kit with all the parts and the pre-programmed chip. You can also get this fully completed, which what fun is that? You know, everybody needs another fun project, so I went ahead and bought the parts option. And I guess if I remember right, you can buy just the board and then program your own chip if you grab those or have those. So I got the DIY kit, do it yourself, and we just need to solder these parts on. And let's take a close look. First, this is my left side is where the DB9 connector gets soldered on, and the board sandwiches between the upper 5 pins and the lower 4 pins, which is pretty neat. And then what's even neater, or more neat, is the Wii Nunchuk Controller. It has 3 pins on the top and 2 in the bottom, and that goes this way and just slides onto the PCB board, which I think is pretty cool, but also eventually someday that's just going to break off. So hopefully much later than sooner. So no soldering required for that connector there. So let's go ahead, and you always want to do the low profile parts first, which in this case is going to be the socket. And you can just solder the chip right in place, but it's always better to not solder the chip directly. Putting some flux on here just to make that a little easier. Oh, come on, you know you want to melt. Okay, I'm just turn this up a little bit. Okay, now we're going. Okay, got the socket soldered in. And I probably should note for beginners in soldering, on the PCB board is a notch in the silk screen, then you'll see a notch on the socket. And you want them to match. It doesn't matter electrically, but it matters with the chip when you put it in, because there's a notch on that. So you just want to carry through that notch so that you or somebody else someday doesn't plug that chip in backwards. Okay, next, I printed out this sheet, and I was saying how I tripped over this on eBay. The seller, I believe, is heading the GitHub page for this, and I grabbed more information from there, printed out the sheet for me with the schematic, the overall blown out pictures, and the information about booting it up to play the games. So next, we've got R2, which in this kit I received, there's 3 10K resistors together and a single lonely resistor, which I'm just going to assume is going to be the R2 here. And these are not, these don't matter which way you put them in. You don't have to have it one way or the other. And you just wing that out. Okay, and since that is low profile but staying in place, I'm going to go ahead and put in the other parts as well. Because everything else at this point has leads on it. You can just wing out and hold in place. Of course, the socket didn't give us that option. They never do. So let's see. Let's do the other 3 resistors next. And these 3 are going to stand up. Again, for beginners, whether the resistor lays down or stands up makes no difference to the circuit. It's just how compact is the design for this. You'd have to make the board bigger, takes up more space, costs more money to make the board. So these are going to stand up. Okay, resistor 3, resistor 4. Okay, then the capacitor, this electrolytic capacitor does make a difference on which way it goes in. You can see on the side, in this case, the shorter lead for sure is negative. It's on the jacket. And if you look on this board, in very tiny print is a plus sign. So we're going to put the longer lead there. So again, this one does make a difference which way it goes in. So double check that. And the same thing for the LED. Okay, so we're going to put it in this way. And often, like this LED's got a flat side as well as the silk screen has that. So you can tell where the anode and cathodes are, or cathode is. Looks like a transistor, if I remember right, it's a voltage regulator. I believe this is taking the 5 volts that's coming out of your joystick port and cutting it down to 3.3 volts to run the chip as well as the nunchuck. Okay, and then we'll do the connector last. I'm going to cut these leads off that I've soldered already because it's a crazy town in here. Everything's so close. Okay, looking good. Okay, I've got most of it soldered, and if I can see through the jungle of leads here, I've got just that power regulator thing. And I'm gonna cut more leads off that are already soldered. Okay, inspecting my work. Solder joints look good. Messy, but good. And I've just got the 3 left here. And if you notice, how could you not? I'm always wearing these glasses, safety glasses, because you can do things like this without it splattering up in your eyes, which, yeah, nobody wants that. Well, we've got all the parts on, except for one, the DB9 connector. So again, there are 5 pins on the top of the DB9 connector and 4 on the bottom. And this board sandwiches between them, so you can visually see there's 5 pads on the top and 4 pads on the bottom to solder the connector on. I'm just going to throw some flux on that, on those pads. Okay, 5 and 5. Just carefully get it to, there we go. Go in between. Never want to force it. This one doesn't seem like it needs to be done with any force. But usually if you have to force some kind of part, you're gonna break something. And then you're fixing that instead of playing games. So as long as we get one of these soldered on to start, it'll hold it in place to get the rest of them soldered on. It's holding in place. Now just the note, there's a lot more metal on this. The solder pads are larger. That shouldn't make a difference. But the joystick connector has much larger pins than the leads on, say, the resistors. And then that goes into the metal housing. And so that's sucking up all the heat as you're trying to solder. So keep that in mind. Now the 4 on the back side. I just felt a little bit of that splatter on my finger. So again, the reason to wear safety glasses. Okay, we're done with the soldering. Looks good. It was pretty easy to do. I actually kind of wish I bought 2 of these kits when I ordered it. I could make 2, and I've got 2 nunchucks. We have a Nintendo Wii that we like to play some Mario Karts on. And if I bought 2, I could have had 2 nunchucks on the Atari for 2-player games. So mine is a little, the DB9's sticking up a little bit because I soldered the one side first, which pulled it up. But it's going to work. Okay, let's go ahead and hook up an Atari and try this out. Okay, well, we've got it all hooked up. And one thing I didn't do on the other part of the video was put the chip in, but just follow the notch on the chip. Now on this it says connect, let's see, plug it in the joystick port, the LED will light up, and then plug in the nunchuck. And again, make sure you've got 3 pins on the top and 2 on the bottom to match the connector here. And do it so gently so that you don't break that board. And it says the light will go off. Perfect. Now, if you press the Z button for fire, the LED will light up. And the C button is rapid fire. So bonus, huh? You get a bonus rapid fire built into this. That's pretty sweet. So let's go ahead. Let's try some Pac-Man. Looks good. And since this is a fire button, it should start up. There we go. Okay. I'm noticing, oh, you don't have to hold the thumb in place. Yeah, that's Pac-Man, right? Oh, I'm not, oh. Oh no, I was, no. Okay, let's try something else I might do a little better with. Oh, well, doesn't want to let go. Kicks or quicks, depending on where you're from. It's not going to start. Let's see, start. Okay, and do slower mode. I think that was, yeah. Nope, nope, no. Okay. Oh, just made it. Okay. I'm gonna jump out of that. I want to try, I got it up here. Let's try a Zaxxon. The game I love to hate. Oh. Let me start over. Let's try Zaxxon. Let's see. That always works, right? If you run into this in and out a few times, perfect. Such a quiet game. Okay, left, right, up, down. Oh, down is backwards. At least what I want it to be. That actually, whoa. I think I like that better than a joystick. I should be using, oh, should be using my eyes. Should be using the rapid fire. Let's see. Whoa. Oh. This actually is, I like this better than the joystick. Oh, okay. Well, good enough. Well, I'd say that worked really well. I am impressed with this. Kudos to the designer. It, it worked flawlessly and very responsive. I like Zaxxon, but I never liked the 3D plane, but this actually works really well with it. I'm gonna have to play some more of that with that. The only other thing I want to mention here at the end is, at least for the 800XL, I needed to bend the wing here on this connector. As you know, joystick plugs usually are much thinner, and these are not. So what happens on a lot of adapters, I don't blame them on this one. If you wanted to wire on a cable or something, sure. But all you got to do is take a good pair of pliers and firmly hold. Don't hold the board when you do it because you don't want to break your solder connections. But hold the DB9 connector and just bend back the wing like that. And again, I've seen this on many adapters like this. It's kind of par for the course on that. So check out the links in the description. I didn't design this. I didn't make this. I don't sell them. I bought this myself. So this is no paid promotion or anything. Just I thought it was cool. I wanted to try it out. I'm very happy I did. So till next time, ciao.